know a place where we can go to lay the troubles down, leading your soul. I know a place where mercy flows. Take the stains, make you whiter than snow. Like a tide, it is rising up deep inside a current that moves and makes you come alive. Living water that brings the dead to life.
Hello, welcome to episode 3 of Followers of the Cross podcast. This is your host, Jason Reynolds. In my podcast, I interview leading Christian authors, musicians, and others in ministry. I hope you learn a little bit about these people and the work they are doing for the kingdom. Today I'm speaking with Jordan Feliz. Jordan is the man behind the hit song, The River. Jordan and I will talk about what exactly the river is, as well as his literal journey of faith when he moved to Tennessee. Jordan has given me permission to use clips of his music. Thanks for joining me today, Jordan. Hello, Jordan.
Hey, man, how are you?
Good. It's good to talk to you again.
Yes, it's good to talk to you again, too, man.
I understand that you're on tour right now with Plum and with Big Daddy Weave. What's the name of the tour? Oh, good. What's the name of the tour, and where are you doing your performances this week?
It's called the Beautiful Offerings Tour, and we are actually in Weston, Wisconsin today, and I'm really excited, and we're going to be in Missouri for the next couple days, and then I think we end up in Kansas at the end, and then we got a couple of days off. I actually am flying to Phoenix after, though.
Okay. And I understand that the tour will pick up maybe in the fall after the summertime. Are you going to be with the tour then, or?
I'm not going to be on the tour then. The fall run is going to be a little different. I'm going to be out with somebody else then.
Okay. So what are can you talk a little bit about that tour?
The tour in the fall?
Yeah.
I don't think I can actually publicize it yet, but
okay.
It's gonna be fun.
Well, I can imagine. Your music style is extremely, to me, unique, especially for CCM. Can you talk a little bit about the influences you had growing up? I know that you had some R&B exposure as a child, and then you were into heavy metal in high school. And how does that really work into your music now?
Man, yeah, I growing up, I listened to, I just listened to my parents. I kind of just listened to what my parents had, and they listened to like Earth, Wind, and Fire, and I grew up listening to the Commodores and Al Green and Sam Cooke and some like kind of like what my parents called, the good music age, and so I kind of grew up listening to that, and then whenever I actually joined the band that I was in my senior year, I never was really into metal. I just was really into the ministry behind it, which was just kind of taking Jesus into a genre that didn't have a whole lot of Jesus. And so I think coming over and being a solo artist and everything, it was like my first time being able to create music that I felt like I kind of had always had in me, And so, man, it's been amazing. It's been so much fun to like explore that and to see kind of what the Lord has for me in that.
Awesome. So when you were putting your albums together early in the CCM career, was there any pressure to say, like, hey, we got to do it this particular way, or we got to do it like what some other people are currently doing, or did they kind of give you free rein just to be yourself and to discover what it is to be Jordan Feliz as the musician?
Yeah, I think that was it, man. It was just discovering who I was and being true to that, I don't think I honestly, one of the goals for me in the label process and management and all that stuff was the fact that I didn't want to be like anybody else. I kind of just wanted to be who I was, because ultimately I've just seen so many things in general market and in Christian music. And I think whenever we try to do something similar to somebody else, I mean, it kind of cripples us because, it's like there already is that person, I mean, it's like I use For King and Country as a reference because I feel like there's nobody else like them in Christian music as well. And it's like, I just don't think that they would ever write a Matthew West song. You know what I mean? Because Matthew West is Matthew West and For King and Country is For King and Country. And so for me, it was like, man, I just want to find out who I am, and dig into that.
Sure. Well, it seems like you're doing that pretty well. I've been listening to the new full-length album, and it's really amazing, especially that first track. I'm trying to think of the name of it right now, but it's shorter than the other tracks, and it's kind of a different feel. Can you talk about that one?
Oh, is it Carry Your Troubles?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that song was actually written, probably a couple months after I moved to Nashville. And I've always kind of liked the vibe of it. It just kind of feels kind of like John Mayer almost meets like, I don't know, like Johnny Cash or something, It's just kind of got a cool vibe about it. And it's just kind of funny because that song, it's kind of a lot, it's kind of a song that's about the river.
Yeah,
which is funny because it was written way before I ever wrote The River, and they just kind of flowed into each other so well. And I think like the moment that the idea got brought to me to be like almost an intro into The River, it just, I felt like it was kind of the Lord was just like, here you go, this is why you wrote this song,
Exactly. Okay, that is cool, and that is cool how God works sometimes in ways like that before you even know what all the pieces are.
Yeah.
That reminds me of the story that you've said in other interviews about the move from California to Nashville, and the fact that it wasn't exactly something. I understand that you and your wife didn't really quite have the finances for the move, but you still felt like you had to make the move in faith. Is that right?
Yeah, man. Whenever we felt like the Lord had kind of put it on our heart to move, my wife and I had already made a trip out to Nashville and kind of fell in love with it. And we had prayed about it. We felt like we had the Lord's confirmation, and I had actually booked shows to get to Nashville because we could not afford it financially. And a couple weeks before we moved, they all fell through. And it's like one of those things where you kind of start second guessing. You're like, man, have we been reading this wrong? Like, is the Lord actually telling us to not go? What's going on? And but the more and more we kind of prayed about it and felt like, we really felt like the Lord had said go, and so we just kind of left. And I mean, I was calling churches like the day of and like being like, hey, do you need a worship leader tonight, or would you want to do something like that? And it's kind of crazy because, I mean, one thing led to another. I mean, we were making enough to just get to the next place we needed to be, and then once we actually got to Oklahoma City was kind of the moment when it was like make or break, and I ended up calling a guy that I had known from touring a couple years back, and he had me call a church, and a guy answered the phone, and he said that the church didn't even exist, and then he was talking about how he had a friend that had a church that met in a barn in his backyard. And so I ended up calling him, and I ended up leading worship for like 26 people, but making like an insane amount of money on merch with 26 people, and I mean, literally, it was crazy because by the time we got to Nashville, I had actually made money, and it was just one of those things where I felt like the Lord really put it on me when we got to Nashville. You have to understand that I want more for you than you want for yourself, so just trust me, give things to me, because I'm going to be able to do more with them than you can do on your own,
Yeah, that can be hard, can it? To totally place your trust.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it can be real tough.
And I don't know about you. For me, it's like, okay, I don't want to, you don't go to God and just say, hey, God, I need all this stuff. I mean, because you know that God's not a big piggy bank, but at the same time, like you said, God wanted more for you than you wanted for yourself.
Yeah.
Was that a big revelation for you then?
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. It was like a massive one for me because it was just like understanding, like the real release of giving things to the Lord is terrifying, because you release your control, but honestly, it can be one of the most freeing things you ever do in your life,
Yeah. Well, talking about going back to the river and the other song on there again, talk about the process of baptism. Water is a big theme in those songs, of course, with faith. Did you get baptized, and was it in the river? Was it just like in the church sprinkling, or what was that process like for you?
The river actually, it's funny because I've actually had a lot of people talk to me about this, and the river actually isn't about baptism at all.
Okay.
I have been baptized. I was baptized at my church. They set up a big doughboy pool, and I got baptized in that. But the river actually is alluding to the living water that we have flowing within us as believers. The Lord has promised us that in John 7:38 that we will have that, and I mean that's really the flooding of the Holy Spirit, and that's really what the song is about. Is when we go down to the river, it's really just it's acknowledging the Holy Spirit within us that flows within us.
Awesome. What else would you like to say at this point? Is there anything that I have not asked yet about the album, about your music or your background that you'd like for everyone to know?
Man, I mean, I guess just that the album is coming out on April 22nd. I'm really, really excited, man, that I appreciate you for calling, man, appreciate the fact that we get to talk on the phone and talk about this, I'm really grateful and humbled by it.
I'm like I said again. I'm extremely grateful for your time because I know you're on tour and everybody's wanting a piece of your time and your attention right now.
Man, yeah, no, thank you, man. Thank you, Jason. I appreciate it, man.
I have a couple of last questions, and I'll wrap it up and let you get off to whatever the other stuff you have going on. I'm sort of asking these questions of all the different people that I interviewed to get something outside of the music or the book they're writing, and just a little to know a little bit something different about each person. Do you have a favorite movie or a favorite book or a favorite whatever when you're not on stage, you're not playing your music, you're not perfecting your craft? What is it you like to do to unwind or to entertain yourself?
Man, honestly, lately it's just been having time with my family, my wife and I have a brand new baby girl, and she's 8 months old, and we live walking distance to a really pretty nice little park that's in our development, and it's just, man, it's awesome. I love being able to just spend time with them.
Awesome.
And I mean, honestly, favorite movie, and it changes all the time. But I mean, man, I think one of my favorites right now is Guardians of the Galaxy. I love that movie so much. It's